So, hey everybody, we're here on the start of a brand new week, the first full week of the Lenten season after the half week of Ash Wednesday. And, today we have kind of a doozy. It's the whole of John chapter 3. And there's just a number of things that stick out to me. Hopefully you've already read it and ask God to speak to it through you. For some of you, maybe this is the first time you're meeting Nicodemus. Maybe you've kind of had an image of Pharisees and Sadducees always being against Jesus, and here you have a Pharisee at night who wants to ask Jesus some questions. And there's just some powerful imagery and statements that John writes in chapter 3, things like being born again. And Nicodemus saying, how can I be born again? I can't get back into my mother's womb. And Jesus explains it. It's in the conversation with Nicodemus where Jesus delivers John 3:16 and 17. For God so loved the world, he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God came into the world not to condemn the world, but so that through him the world could be saved. And then in the tail end, we have this incredible image of John the Baptist, who's still doing ministry, who's still baptizing, not now at the Jordan, but in another location. And Jesus is also baptizing, but the crowds are going to Jesus, and less crowds are coming to John. And in our flesh, we could kind of feel like, our ego could be affected. And somebody even asks, hey, John, how do you feel that people aren't coming to you as much? They're going to somebody else. And John just comes across with such maturity and faith and says, you know what, he's like, it's not about me. I'm not in this for me. It's about God directing people's hearts. And he's okay with his crowd getting smaller, which is just an incredible testimony of where his identity and his worth comes from. I think the thing that stood out to me the most, though, is Nicodemus. He's one of my most favorite individuals that Jesus has an encounter with, because he's somebody that's highly educated, somebody that's a part of the religious system. And with all that he's seeing, it doesn't make sense to him. And so he's got to talk to Jesus for himself. And he has just an incredible conversation with Jesus. And the challenge for me is to remember that no matter how educated I might be, no matter how many books I've read, no matter how much knowledge I might attain, to maintain a level of humility, and not grow proud, not grow like I've got everything figured out or I always know best, but to maintain my heart of humility, to say, you know what, there's still something I could see, something I could learn. What I don't know far outweighs what I do know. And I would just encourage you with that. Maybe today is a day, as you walk through it, that you cultivate humility. And even though you may have some passionate convictions, maybe set those aside today and say, you know what, I've still got a lot to learn. There's a lot God can show me. There's a lot other people could show me, because what I don't know far outweighs what I do. And that is a great posture to have before the Lord, and it's a great posture to have for each other as well. So enjoy the rest of the day. Look forward to being with you tomorrow.